Hello everyone, today I'm working at adding 3 more stalls to my roundhouse. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up the box. So that's going to give me 9 stalls in total. So that's going to be a big roundhouse. But I'm pretty sure that's what I want. So the first thing I do with this is I will separate, oh, there's some window material. That's pretty neat. Window material and instructions. I always keep those close by. And then all these walls. What I do is I'll separate them between what gets painted brick color and what gets painted black. And these are really neat. And then what gets painted green. Some of these things that are green here, they get painted brick color. Although you have options. Then this also is part of the roof. Some of it gets painted black. And then a lot of these, they'll stay gray. Perfect. So the first part that I work on is the base. So what I do, I have to poke, I have to make holes in here for my track nails, and also 2 holes for my connectors. Okay, so here's what I did. I let the roof be removable from this. That way, anytime I want to come back and work on this, I can. Also, this section here, I made it removable. Well, maybe not. So I can come back and work on this anytime. And then I just scotch tape the wall here. So I can come in and extend this, no problem. It's like it was meant to be. That tape's been on there for more than a year, so naturally it's a little bit stiff. So I can just go ahead and remove that. And then I can set up my foundation. So I put these 3 tracks there just to make the layout look good. This is tricky removing the nails, but I've got to do that. And then we'll put it back the way it was meant to be later. Then I can bring in my foundation. That's the most important part. You can see the holes for that middle rafter. And then I can measure out. This kit is from Atlas. So it's designed to fit exactly with the Atlas turntable and the Atlas snap track. You can see the length of the track is very, very precise. So I need to make holes for the track power, which is going to be right around here. I'm going to mark this. And while I'm drilling this, I'm going to be making holes through my my board, so I can come in and put the wires through the board at the same time. Also, while I have my track in place, I want to make holes for my nails. I don't have to go through both the board and the track. But I do want to make a hole through my foundation. That way it will be easier to put the nail in. Awesome. Now hold for the power leads. Double check that everything's lined up. Perfect. Now I can start painting. You want to give really thin coats. So I'm painting all the brick color and I'm doing all the backside first. Just like before, very thin coats. It's better to do 2 thin coats than 1 thick coat. Then I do all the greens. That's all you need, very thin coat. And the black parts get painted black. Okay, so while my paint is drying, I'm going to be making some feeder wires for my roundhouse. The trick to soldering is heat. If you have enough heat, everything sticks very well. I always keep a bunch of clothespins like this. That really lends a helping hand. So if you have enough heat, everything's going to stick well. So I only have to make 5 more of these. I got a neat little engine to test out everything. Now I'm going to bring in my foundation. And this, I don't need to glue it down because as I put my tracks, it's going to nail everything down. Now I'm bringing in my feeder wires. So every track has 2 wires. I've got 9 stalls. So the 9 stalls together, that makes 18 wires under the table. So it's quite a mess, quite the spaghetti ball. So I just push these through. and that will bring wire to my locomotive, will bring power to the locomotive, and then I can drive them out of the roundhouse. I think the Kato one has simplified wiring, which I really considered getting one, but it's not long enough. It's big enough to feed to house the C62 and the D51, but my engines that I use the FEF3 and Hudson's. I like to run big engines like the T1 duplex from the PRR. I'm gonna bring my rails in. Atlas snap track happens to be the exact length for this turntable, so that makes it easy. And I'll plug in the other one. This takes a little bit of time actually to wire in all this stuff, but I'm going to be using this for years, so it's well worth it. So as I'm installing this, I'm making sure that it lines up perfectly with my turntable. If there's anything I'm not happy with, now's the time to do it, and then I'm going to nail everything down. And now let's test it out just to make sure everything works electrically. So this is DC. I imagine wiring it for DCC is about the same. That's pretty neat. I gotta admit, it's pretty cool laying down some new track and then running the first engine the first day, the first time on that brand new track. Just feels really good. Very cool stuff. My paint's dry now. I've got to put everything together. I don't need to make these walls because I'm using the one that I've made already. So that's going to go a little bit quicker. On my other kits, the windows material wasn't provided. On this one it is, so that is most appreciated. Now I can put all those window frames together. It's super nice. They provide the lintel and the window itself. So that looks really awesome together. Just like a real building, you start with the foundation and then the frame. Then the walls come in. It's really shaping up now. I'm going to give it some time to dry. So to install the doors, you can bend them a little bit. So you set the bottom post and then you bend it a little bit. It'll let you find the top post. Once you have it, you'll know. So you can display your roundhouse with the doors closed, or you could do some operating with the doors open. I took a few minutes to add the extra details provided, ladders, chimneys, and there's a really neat water spouts. Here's a close-up of the water spouts. So 9 stalls is good for me, so this project is completed. That's plenty of room for me. If anyone's ever curious about how big this is, it's about 3 feet across. So also the track behind it is 17 and a half. So if you want something like me that's very symmetrical, I like symmetry a little bit. So if you want something symmetrical, 17 and a half and 19 inch is what I use for curves. So that was a super satisfying project. I'm really happy with my fuel oil facility and roundhouse and the turntable. I think it ties everything together. It's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.